Hi, I'm Christopher McClinton, here with you for another episode of Extensible Podcast. And I'm delighted to have with us today the elusive head of product for Finxact, Amanda Mathis. Amanda, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here, Christopher. You finally caught me.
I know your calendar's a busy one. I'm going to name this episode, What's She Building in There? What we're about to talk about. No, but quite seriously, it's really good of you to set aside a little time to be with us because a lot of people are wondering that. And it's terrific just to be able to hear it from you. So maybe as we're just kicking off, you could give us a little bit of your own bio and just sort of trajectory to where you are now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been in fintech for 20 years, serving in a variety of roles, both strategic and tactical. And, I was really excited about the Finxact opportunity when it landed in my lap 7 years ago, if you can believe that. I'm really excited because I got to work with some people that are leaders in the industry and also worked with some colleagues from past lives. So it was great to get the gang back together and start to build some new and amazing things. And that's exactly what we did with Finxact, right? We enabled teams. We're really creating value around the Finxact product. And I'm just excited to continue to see how we evolve the product to meet the needs across the industry.
Yeah, I don't believe that about it falling in your lap. I think it was very well deserved and earned. And I believe you've been running with this Sanchez tribe for quite a long time.
Yeah, they're a good one to run with. They know a couple of things.
They do. Well, we'll talk about several things today, but really just I want you to think about some of the highlights, the majors. I know you can't go into every feature that you guys are working on, but maybe you could just start by a little bit of a look back over perhaps the last 3-4 quarters and what your teams have been working on that you're excited about and why.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been delivering a lot. I think last year we delivered upwards of 400 feature changes, both large and small. So definitely we'll just be hitting the highlights reel here. The one area that I'm really excited to finally be able to bring to market is the work we've done around what we're calling tax benefit plans, which is inclusive of IRAs and HSAs. So we support SEPs, Simples, Roths, the health savings accounts. We can designate beneficiaries, track contributions, distributions, calculate the minimum distribution amounts, apply withholding. We have the forms that we support, the 5498s and the 1099Rs. So getting that out into our clients' hands was a big effort, and I'm really excited that we were finally able to finish that one. We've also done a lot of work around multi-asset and multi-currency. So really, it's the ability to store positions or accounts in different asset types other than currency. So you could, for example, have an asset type as a metal, a gold or a silver. You could have it as differing currencies. And we're even starting to look into different types of securities like commodities, bonds, and other variations of that. So really exciting stuff, pretty powerful stuff as well.
Yeah, that is powerful. And I think certainly among the viewers, the product owners and the product managers know that a deposit count is not a deposit count, is a deposit count. There are lots of variations on that. You're able to take Finxact into some of these types of deposit accounts that have very particular requirements and behaviors. And so that's really exciting. And then on the multi-asset, multi-position, it's wonderful to see this just sort of we've been talking about it for a couple of years, knew that it was a real differentiator for Finxact, even, for in category vis-a-vis other next-gen platforms. But now we're starting to see our clients and our partners get it. Yep. And it's not just USD or fiat, any denomination, but use your imagination. So that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's great. We've seen a couple use cases come across our plate for both the sales opportunity and implementations perspective. So with the multi-asset, I had mentioned metals. So we can have metal-based collateral. So you can secure your loan if you have bars of gold or silver. And Finxact is able to do the exchange and revalue that collateral based on the amount of metal that you have and then the exchange price that we have. So that's a really cool use case for it. We also had an opportunity in the Colombian market where our sales team was able to put together a whole new environment with Colombian pesos as the base currency. within a day and start transacting against those accounts in those Colombian pesos. So really exciting stuff. Really enables the Finxact core to really, I think, to your point, be really creative with how we can group positions and leverage those capabilities in different ways.
Yeah, those are some great examples, whether it's metals, whether it's foreign currencies, rewards of all different stripes, carbon credits. It's just like it is a position, and you can think about what the value of that position, how it's expressed, but go after it because it just allows for that type of flexibility.
100%.
So more, I guess, sort of general capabilities. What else have your teams been working on?
Really, a lot of focus has been on the lending side, really broadening our capabilities there. So I mentioned collateral. We put a lot of investment into collateral, being able to secure your loan through, various different collateral types. I mentioned the gold, but obviously you can just secure it with an amount, right? So you secure your loan with your home or with your boat or with, your securities. So really enabling that capability, really happy with where it is today. Also on the lending side, we've done a lot where you can really customize your loan. So custom repayment schedules. So then example of that might be, a customer might have a balance-based billing cycle set up for the first year, and then the system will automatically, based on the configuration parameters, maybe move them more of a fixed amount term for the remainder of the loan. So really being able to leverage and set prescriptive behaviors for these accounts. So you can kind of just set it and forget it and really be able to enable different payment parameters. We also did a lot of changes where we can support early payments and send them to unapplied funds, or maybe it's a principal curtailment. We've enabled fees to really be customizable at a loan level. So we all know there's a lot of fees with lending. So you can really set up your fee structures and plans at the loan level, and then have the system, like I said, set it up and forget it. The system will go from there and apply the fees as necessary. Also, not on the lending side, one of the more popular features that we have is allowing a negative overdraft limit. So really allowing the customer to go negative on their deposit account without penalty. You can have this period start when the account is open, after they fund it, after a certain time it's been opened. You can have third parties connect in and maybe update that overdraft limit dynamically based on the customer's spending behavior. And we also have the ability to recalibrate that dynamically internally as well. So really a popular feature that we've seen rolled out to a couple different customers. And then finally, we've been investing quite a bit in the mortgage space. So really being able to support all the different flavors of mortgages. So we've added the ability to support adjustable rates, interest only. We've added features around investor, escrow, bankruptcy, loss mitigation, you name it. We are marching down that road and really happy with the features that are coming out into the market over this year around that area.
It's another terrific example, I think, because mortgages are, first of all, just complex. You started to go into just, some of the high level details of that, but they come obviously in lots of different varieties and lots of different behaviors. And so just supporting that product for the financial institutions, the originators who might be, doing the servicing as well, a lot of complexity. And Finxact is really, leaning into that product. But what's been phenomenal, because we talk about Finxact, it's a platform for banking, for fintech, and embedded finance. Mm-hmm. We're addressing all of these segments, and we're addressing them each a little differently because they utilize Finxact differently. But we've seen, when you think about a platform, it's like, this is something that you can go build your business on. And just in the mortgage space generally, we have a partner in Sagent who is building their next gen mortgage servicing platform on top of our real-time ledger, which is awesome. Yeah. But I think we'll see more and more examples of, companies, ISVs who have their own value proposition, but, require the position keeping function of a Finxact ledger, do the same. So really exciting stuff. So before I just say what are our current customers most interested in right now, or to see Finxact support, I guess you have to start thinking about that in terms of maybe a better place to start is Are we seeing more demand on the sort of the consumer banking retail side of the bank for sort of the needs for that business model, the commercial side of the bank, SMEs, SMBs, mixture of both?
Yeah.
And how do you go about, I guess, prioritizing that?
Yeah, well, we've definitely seen more of a concentrated interest in lending over the past year and a half. And it's really split between retail and commercial. So the small business lending that you were talking about. On the retail side, we've done some work to enable buy now, pay later loans or point of sale installment loans, if you will. Also, credit building type products are really catching fire, I think, across the financial services space. Really, there's a lot of underserved people that don't have credit. So I think it's great that we're creating the ability for these people to get their credit scores up and start to bank with, various institutions. On the commercial side, it's just, we've put a lot of investment. We still have, I think, a little bit of ways to go, but some of the things we've been doing, we've been building out participations, syndications, really making sure that we can support all the different payment billing methods, I think, that I talked about previously, all the flavors there, all the various fees. I think we're just going to continue to see that focus on the lending area over the next year, which hopefully keeps pace with the development that we have going on.
Yeah, that it's been very gratifying for me, just from my angle, to see how, because of the clients and the prospective clients that Finxact is working with across those segments. So from tier one financial institutions, largest retailers looking to do embedded finance, fintechs, the likes of Sagent, building their platform, their business on top of Finxact. But it's having the helpful consequence of just really annealing the system, hardening the system, bringing in all of these features that everybody's going to benefit from if that's what they're doing.
I think you hit something key, right, Christopher? It's like everything that we're building benefits everybody, right? So customers who aren't invested in commercial banking now, they have these capabilities and they can start to play with them in their own environments and figure out, do they want to offer those types of products going forward? And, I mentioned we did around 400 feature changes last year, multiply that by 7. That's the amount of change that we put in the system that really enables customers to come up with, hardened, proved out products that they've offered since the beginning of time with financial institutions, but also really get creative, right? I think that's really where the key of Finxact is, because you can mix and match all these different behaviors to really create a set of products that are going to benefit your market, right? And so it's really exciting, particularly when we get some clients who do like to think outside of the box. So we really love to get creative with them to see how we can best leverage the system for their needs.
Let's talk for a minute about something I think is near and dear to both of us, but Finxact payment rails. So
yes.
I think it was almost a year ago I had one of your team on the podcast, and it was really more of like, here's what's coming, here's why we're doing it. But over the last year, you guys have made loads of progress. So maybe to talk about a few of the highlights there.
Yeah, we have numerous card integrations at this point. So last year we already had Marqeta as a partner to offer cards. And last year we added Epic and Visa Forward as additional integrations, which is really exciting, right? It's really give our customers optionality and when they're putting their ecosystems together. In addition, can't remember if my colleague had talked about this. We've implemented the corporate origination capabilities. So really, if you have a small business customer that has a payroll file, they can load that payroll file into Finxact and we'll go ahead and process those outbound ACH payments. So that has been a really exciting feature. And I can't wait to see some customers really starting to use that en masse now that it's available. And then the third piece that we've really been focused on is what we're calling like multi-company or on us capabilities. So it's when within a single instance of Finxact, you might have a portfolio where, you're tracking some portion of your portfolio is backed by a partner, and then you bring on a different financial partner to back a different portion of your portfolio, right? So, and this is more in the fintech space where they might need a banking partner to help kind of offset and support them. So really, you're able to set up multiple companies within a single instance of Finxact, and we'll do the work on making sure that payments come back in that shouldn't be going out and we're processing them correctly. We're making sure that there's proper segmentation and reconciliation across your portfolio. We're making sure we can split the ACH file depending on who your partner is. So that's been really exciting capabilities. It doesn't sound exciting, but it is really exciting because I think it's going to offer fintechs a lot more in the way of them being able to bring on banking partners to really back their portfolios as they expand.
Yeah, it might sound like sort of some of the terms a little bit esoteric, but for those not, I guess, familiar with ACH parlance, corporate origination is a big word. It comes with lots of things that sort of make it so that you can say that and say that we support this.
Yeah,
and it lets you really work with very different type of financial institution who has very different types of corporate originators and clients. So that is really exciting. And then, you touched on a couple of the rails, but when you start to think about, I think what we've done that's going to become so impactful is having, you're talking just to name a few of the rails: card, it could be ACH, it could be RTP, it could be wire. Mm-hmm. It also could be, very interestingly, especially with Finxact, having lots of clients running the Finxact platform, account to account. Yep. That starts to look, something like an on-us transaction because it doesn't need a network, but there's just a lot of optionality there. So you're giving the institution a lot of optionality in terms of settlement, clearing and settlement, both in terms of speed and cost and direct routing or least cost routing, and then having the ability to. I've been really eager to see sort of the business rules that you guys have been working on. So the domain-specific language that allows for business rules to look at payment activity and then, automate the routing of those transactions across the rails, the most appropriate rails that, for the customer at the time. But really, you start to see just the convergence of real-time payments and real-time core, what's possible with those two things. And it also starts to shed a little bit of light, hopefully, helpfully, on what might could happen or what might not be happening that should, if you're not real time in both places.
Yep.
So, and I think we're going to have a paper coming out on this pretty soon with a couple of your rock stars, Chris Jones, Lloyd Bravo, some others have had a lot to do and say about that. So look forward to that, our viewers.
Yeah, I'm excited to get that out there as well. I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Enabling real-time core with real-time payments, and it's impressive, right? Because you really have so much control over how the funds are moved within your institution. And one of the many great things about Finxact, we really have a pretty simple structure. We have like 2 API calls that you are really going to be using that are going to process 100% of your payments. So you don't have to constantly reintegrate with different APIs. It's really going to be the same set, just different information that'll be passed through. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're really excited. And you mentioned the addition of rules into that. That is amazingly powerful as well, right? Which payment rail do we want to send this transaction through to be most efficient and optimized for the customer? So it's going to be pretty exciting to get all of that showcased for everybody.
I'll say, and look at the optionality we're bringing, whether it's in the, just as originally envisioned and contemplated Finxact, the open platform, which allows for, the financial institutions to think about and design their own product ecosystem with partners that they want to work with. So optionality there. Optionality in terms of the settlement, the clearing and settlement options, not just optionality, but least cost routing, smart routing, and then optionality for those fintechs that you're talking about that, are very likely going to need more than one financial institution partner, and the ability to, mitigate their risk and have a diversified portfolio of partners, bank partners that they're working with, and to be able to do that on one platform without having to create another instance of the core is incredibly powerful. So now I'll talk to you again probably in like 2 years.
When we catch up again.
Yeah. So if there's anything else you want to mention just that's coming up, please do. And but just joking aside, very appreciative and love what you're doing.
Yeah, no, happy we could finally schedule this. I'm going to be a busy woman here the next couple of years. We're really starting to evaluate different types of markets. And through that lens of now that we're asset type agnostic, how can we leverage all the work we've done with the core to support things like securities, bonds, stocks, commodities as different position types within the system. We're also looking beyond the U.S. as well. So we've got some opportunities that we are pursuing in various ways. And so we're really excited, number one, to showcase our multi-currency capabilities with those markets, but also, start to provide some additional feature function for those markets so we can hopefully capture some more of the share of those regions. Credit card integration is the one payment rail that I haven't talked about yet that we are going to be working with one of our Fiserv partners, Optus, to really be able to provide, a beyond debit solution for our customers. So excited to get that work done this year. And then really in the theme of kind of now we have all of these different types of asset types, really getting into more asset management, cash management, treasury areas to make sure that we can provide the right liquidity reports to our customers so they can evaluate their businesses and make sure everything is running and optimizing how they're moving funds within all of their cash and business accounts. So definitely looking forward to seeing what we can build out in that area as well.
Yeah, super exciting. Not especially, but for some of us that have been on for a while, seeing Finxact as a Fiserv company now have very real opportunities around the globe, and to be able to partner with our Fiserv colleagues on the ground in whatever that geo and show up, not with slideware, but with stuff that just knocking their socks off. And then we have a real engagement rolling, a few weeks later. So that's been really terrific. I can't wait to brag on us about some of those stories when it's okay to do so. But keep killing it. And thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks, Chris. My pleasure. Talk to you soon.